What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to be taking you through my top 4 ultimate quad exercises to become a quad mommy or quad daddy or quad everything, guys. I don't do enough quad videos on here, so these are my top 4 exercises to become a quad monster. Let's go. Exercise number 1 is going to be something we've never covered on the channel before out of all my 1.5 years of being on YouTube, but it's something exciting, something new that I'm excited to break down the form for you, and that is barbell front squats. I know it's quite an intimidating move, but after I break it down and we nail the form and we nail the movement, it's not gonna be intimidating anymore. And you guys can incorporate it in your full body days, in your lower body days, but this is definitely a quad focused movement, hence why we are putting it first on the list to not only break down the form, take away the intimidation for the movement, but also hype it up as a quad dominant exercise, okay? Let's go. So, unlike a back squat, okay, which we can demonstrate right now. This would be a back squat, right? Either low bar like this or high bar. You're just outside shoulder width apart, feet slightly pointed outwards, okay? And you come down like this, right? And then up. With a back squat, you're shifting the weight more onto your heels, making it more of a glute, hammy, and quad focused movement. It's like an all-rounded lower body movement, a back squat, I would consider. But because the barbell is on your back and the weight is shifted this way, you naturally are gonna shift the weight into your heels. Remember how I always say in my glute and hammy days, or just in my lower body days in general, guys, if you wanna feel the movement in your glutes or in your hams, you have to shift the movement to your heels. You have to drive through your heels to feel it in your glutes and hams. And I always say, if you struggle and you're feeling it in your quads, that's because you're shifting the weight into your toes. So with a front squat, the weight is purposely being shifted onto your toes because the barbell is in front of you, not behind you. With a front squat, we have the barbell in front of us, making it automatically a more quad dominant movement because it's in front of you, the weight's already there. All you have to do now is shift that, naturally shift it into your toes, because remember I said when you drive through your toes, it's gonna be a quad dominant movement. Now, front squats are very technical. This is what not to do with a front squat. Okay, we're not just gonna hold it like this and go down like that. No. That's a lot of strain on your shoulders and it's just wrong movement. What we're gonna do, let me show the wrong form again from this angle. Okay, this is wrong, like wrong. This is bad, especially when you go up in weight, like your shoulder's cooked. Correct movement for front squats. You see where this rough part of the barbell starts right here, these two? Your index finger, you're gonna put on each line and you're gonna scoop. So practice that movement first. You're gonna scoop and your elbows are gonna come about chin level. I know it's a flexibility issue for a lot of us with front squats. I know a lot of you that have probably tried it before are like, oh my gosh, like literally I hate front squats because I literally can't get my elbows up like this. That just takes time and practice, and also stretching out your shoulders, you know, doing banded pull aparts like you've seen in my warm-up videos where you take like a band and go like this to work on your hypermobility for your shoulders, your rotator cuffs, etc., etc. Grab a wall, stretch out properly before a barbell front squat. This is why I included it in my full body days too, because this is really like a full body like movement. Like you gotta get everything limber. Everything, okay? Once you've warmed up your shoulders and you're able to get your elbows up like this, it's gonna sit around your collarbone. So although it feels a little bit uncomfortable, that's where the barbell is gonna sit to get your elbows up this high. It's gonna be right up against your collarbone, about shoulder width apart, feet slightly pointed outwards, and then dip down, and then up, okay? Again, down, neutral spine, neutral neck, and then up. Okay, and then safely re-rack. I do not re-rack backwards. I'm just showing you guys from this angle, but re-rack like you would with a barbell squat, re-rack forward. Once you kind of get the movement comfortable doing it with just the barbell, we're gonna add on plates, right? And again, my cues with like barbell squats, squatting in general, guys, just lower body movement. What do I always tell you? Neutral spine, neutral neck, driving through your heels as well as your toes with this movement, because this is a quad focus movement. And with that being said, let's just jump into the movement, guys. Exercise tip, guys, for barbell front squats as well. If you struggle with depth and hitting depth and you're butt winking, which is when your lower spine kind of curves, like, you know, we call it a butt wink, add a plate under the back of your heels to make it even more quad dominant, as well as helping you fix your butt wink, because when you put a plate under your heels, it allows you to add that elevation so that you can keep your spine neutral but still hit depth. Makes it more quad dominant, as well as helping you fix that curve in your lower spine when you go low and deep in a movement. And then when you perfect that, you can take away the plate if you want, or if you still want to make it even extra quad dominant, you can keep the plate under your heels. Ultimate quad exercise number 2 is gonna be narrow leg press. But I'm gonna throw a little bonus tip in there and tell you that I like to do a superset to really burn out the quads. Actually, this is a very well-rounded leg movement overall, because the superset that I throw into my leg days to not only burn out the quads, but also like just destroy my legs in general, like my quads, hammies, glutes, is a superset of regular stance leg press, no breaks, right into narrow stance leg press. So the narrow stance leg press, let's get that down pat. That's the main quad movement that I want to focus on as my second top exercise. But I'm throwing in the bonus of showing you the superset that I do in a lot of my leg days to really just like destroy the legs. Like everything's destroyed. Okay, so get your favorite leg press machine in your gym. A narrow leg press, which is the quad dominant movement here, is going to be this, inside shoulder width apart. When you're inside shoulder width apart, you're automatically think quads, quads, quads. When you're shoulder width apart or wider, think glutes, hammies, and adductors, which are your inner thighs. So let me go over that again. Right here, inside shoulder width apart, quads, which is the narrow stance leg press, which is our exercise number 2 for today. Wiggle out just a little bit. That's gonna be glutes and hammies focused mostly, where it's about shoulder width apart, toes slightly pointed outwards, okay, not parallel. That's gonna be more glute focused. Now, wiggle it out one more. Now we're in a wide stance, sumo stance, exaggeratedly pointed outward toes, which is gonna target our glutes, hammies, but mainly our adductors, which are our inner thighs. Okay, the wider your stance, the more exaggerated your toes are pointed outwards. But let's rewind, because today's our quad focused exercises. Wiggle in 2 times, feet parallel, pointed up towards the ceiling, and inside shoulder width apart is our narrow stance leg press, and that is a quad focused exercise. The quads will be screaming, guys. Okay guys, first we're gonna run through narrow stance. I'm gonna show you the movement. So you're gonna kick it up. About the middle of the leg press is where you want your legs. Just like middle, maybe slightly under middle. Again, inside shoulder width apart, very parallel feet. My toes are not pointed outwards at all to really target the quads and focus on the quads here. Okay? You're gonna come in like this. Bring your knees as much as you can into your chest. So as deep as you can without your lower spine curving or your bum lifting off the seat, okay? And then up without locking out your joints. You see how I did a full extension? That's a full extension, but I didn't lock. You see, that's a full extension. That's dangerous. Do not do this on a leg press, guys. You will injure yourself. It's so dangerous, and it's so important that you do not do what I'm doing here. You do this leg. That's a full extension, but a proper, safe full extension, that's dangerous. That's locking out your joints. Not only do you lose the tension in your quad, you're gonna injure your knees and something's gonna snap. So full extension like this, keeping the tension in your quads, but also safely not locking out your knees. So come in like this, and then push up. Full extension without locking. Again, come in as deep as you can, and then up. Come in as deep as you can. The quads will be burning, guys. This is one of my favorite quad exercises of all time. Now, my bonus tip / bonus superset for today's quad focused video. I wanna show you guys one of my favorite leg day supersets that I include in a lot of my leg days whenever I do throw myself on the leg press machine. And that is the glute focus stance for 10 reps. So it's a superset. 10 reps of the glute focus stance. Okay, really like bust out those reps. And then wiggle your feet inwards. 8 to 10 reps of narrow stance or AMRAP, as many reps as possible, because promise you try that superset, your quads will be cooked, glutes will be cooked, everything's cooked, okay? But you'll thank me later, because the pump after you stand up after that superset, all 4 sets of it, insane pump, guys. Okay, let's run through that superset. So glute stance, middle of the platform, just outside shoulder width apart, feet slightly pointed outwards. Now, if your quads aren't destroyed after that, then that is weird. My third favorite quad exercise. Is this even a shock to anybody? Quad extensions, guys. I love quad extensions so much. Honestly, as someone that doesn't really love quad days, I am starting to incorporate quad extensions more because although I am quad dominant to begin with, so my quads naturally take a heavy impact on leg days, even if I don't even try to target my quads. I have been I shouldn't neglect the quad extensions because they're actually really nice and they burn so good on the quads, so well. I love them. So yes, even if you're quad dominant, this is your sign. As Maddie's saying, I am quad dominant, okay? And Maddie's telling you, don't neglect any exercises. Don't ever just be like, I'm just never gonna do this. I still do barbell squats. I still do front squats. I still do quad extensions. These are all mainly quad focused movements that I still incorporate, like I said, either in my full body days or my leg days, but they're never neglected. Just because I do glute or hammy focused workouts majority of the time, I don't neglect any of the movements that target my quads, right? I don't neglect any exercise in general because all exercises are good exercises and they're exercises that are there and staple for a reason, regardless if you're quad dominant, glute dominant, whatever it might be. If you guys notice, and even in my glute focused days, I still do quad focused movements because there's always a well-roundedness to the way I train, which you guys see in my workouts, when you guys do my programs, all that. Anyways, spiel over. Let's go through a quad extension. So I like this one because look, you see I kind of move back. I actually enjoy quad machines like this. This is really fun. But most gyms I feel have the ones where you don't move, you don't move like a roller coaster. So if you just have the regular quad extension, that's just as good. It's just as good. But basically, you're going to adjust the machine to fit your height. I'm short, so I pull the seat all the way forward. I hoist it all the way forward. So this is at its full extension forward. Most quad extensions, you can adjust where this sits on your ankles here. I usually like it sitting higher up on my ankles, almost on the lower part of my shins here, which is just my front of my calves. But this one, because it's a loosey-goosey one, you can't really adjust it. So if you're short like me, I like it sitting just in front of my calves here. But if you can't adjust it, that's fine. And again, with a quad extension, it's a pretty simple movement. You just flex all the way up like that until you can fully extend without completely locking out your knees, and then come down. It's really hard to lock out your knees on a quad extension, to be honest with you, but don't swing. Don't swing the movement. Just feet flexed, so not pointed, feet flexed like this. We're not quad extensioning like this, like ballerinas, guys. No, feet flexed, completely like this. And then look at the quad versus this. Look, when I'm pointing my toes, it's not really targeting my quads. When I flex my foot here, look at how my quads tense up. Everything's tight here. The whole muscle's super hard. So feet flexed, hold the railings here to keep yourself planted onto the seat, and extend upwards. Key tip for this, guys, you don't want to rush through the movement. Focus on the eccentric. So the eccentric is when you come down, that time under tension. You're gonna power up basically, and then you're gonna 1, 2, 3 on the way down. And then power up, and then 1, 2, the quads will be burning. Don't just loosely go through the movement like this. That's wrong, okay? Because then you're not mind muscle connecting with your quads. On top of it, you're kind of just loosey-goosey, rushing through the movement. That time under tension and that eccentric on the way down is so important to really build up that lactic acid in your quads, that burning feeling and building the muscle. That's where those painful reps, that pain there is where those reps really count. That really slow, controlled movement of reps. The quads, I'm telling you guys, they'll become nice and toned, nice and strong. This movement will get easier and easier. It actually doesn't get easier and easier, that's a lie. This movement never gets easier. Quad extensions are brutal. Last exercise of my top 4 favorite quad movements is going to be, is this one a shocker too, guys? You guys know I put this one in all my leg days. Not all my leg days, but a lot of my leg days. Heel elevated goblet squats. But stick around through this explanation because I'm gonna throw in a bonus there to make it even extra quad focused. So you guys know the drill if you've seen my other videos, or you guys see my Instagram like workouts or this and that, like you've seen it all across my platforms. I love heel elevated goblet squats because not only does it help, again, like I said earlier, with adding a plate elevation to help with your depth in a squat to prevent a butt wink and like curving of your lower spine. It helps with reaching depth without hurting your lower spine, but as well as adding that quad focused element to your leg days. So with the heel elevation, it naturally shifts your body weight into your toes. Again, when you shift that weight into your toes and you're driving through your toes, it becomes a quad focused movement. Like right now, even just standing like this and my body weight being leaned onto my toes, my quads right now, if I flick it, they're completely tensed. They're like completely tensed. Like they're not like loosey-goosey like this. Like when I'm just standing here, I'm not even trying, they're like completely like tight. Safely pick up the dumbbell, okay? Have it in front of you like this. Hoist it onto either your right or left knee safely. Get your bottom of your palms underneath the dumbbell like this. Bring it forward in front of you like this and safely get up like this. And then you dip, okay? Squat down and up. And with that movement, very, very straight 90-degree elevator motion. No lean forward, no lean back, like keep your core tight to keep yourself balanced and stable throughout the movement. Elevator motion, just up and down, just straight up and down, straight spine, straight neck, everything. Focus on something right in front of you. Keep everything just moving vertical. Now, if you stuck around through that mini explanation, love you guys. The twist here, if you are more advanced or intermediate, whatever you may be, this is not for my beginners. My beginners, get down the goblet squats, the heel elevated goblet squats first, perfect quad movement. But for my intermediate and advanced girls that want to kind of like add a little oomph, add a little spice, okay, to this quad movement, we're gonna squat down. I feel like you guys are watching this like I hate you. I hate you right now. I know, I hate me too. It sucks. It honestly sucks. Even if you did a superset where you did maybe 10 goblet squats, for example. 10 goblet squats, heel elevated, throw the dumbbell to the side, body weight. Now body weight. Squat, lunge, squat, lunge. Okay, that quad burnout, okay, is going to be crazy, like insane. Like your quads will be so pumped, it's ridiculous. Like just ridiculous. Like ultimate quad workout right here. Goblet squats, heel elevated, right into a goblet squat, heel elevated, forward lunge, alternating. It's a lot of words, but you get it. So if you wanna do it with weight and just as an exercise itself, without doing like a superset or drop set like that, have the same exact form, having it right in front of you, squat down, and squat and lunge forward. Squat down and lunge forward. Again, when it comes to that forward lunge, it's different than a reverse lunge that's glute focused, guys. Remember we talked about reverse lunges in Bulgarian split squats where you keep your spine like completely straight, like elevator motion versus escalator motion. This is a quad focused movement. So it's gonna be an elevator motion even in the forward lunge. So you're not leaning forward in the lunge or taking a wide step forward. To make it more quad focused, narrow step, elevator motion. That's the two cues you just have to think about. Narrow step, not wide. Okay, wide would be more glute and hammy focused. Narrow step, elevator. Okay, not wide and escalator. No. Let's run through the movement. All right, guys, that concludes today's top 4 ultimate quad exercises to build strong and awesome quads. If you want a part 2, let me know in the comments below. And I really hope you guys love these exercises just as much as I do. Honestly, amazing, amazing quad exercises that I feel like everybody should include, whether it's your full body days or your lower body days, to build really strong and aesthetic quads. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.